what about the CBC? Yes, we will be defunding the CBC.
Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. In today's top stories, we've got Stephen Guilbeault, Justin Trudeau's environment minister, who's come out and said that their efforts have paid off. They've paid off in Jasper. All their hard work has only allowed 30% of the town of Jasper to get burned to the ground. Their efforts have paid off. Unbelievable coming from this guy. So we've got a whole bunch of updates on the Jasper fires, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So let's get into it. First off, the situation with Jasper is not good. Basically, they knew there was pine beetle trees all around the town. There was also some old burns. So there's a bunch of old dead trees, and these all needed to be cleaned up. Trudeau and the Liberals there, they promised they were going to do something about it, and they didn't. And now the town is burned down, and they don't care. Justin Trudeau's on vacation, and he just doesn't seem to give a crap. So we've got this clip here.
Young people, particularly we talk about Generation Z and millennials, they are facing a system that seems stacked against them in a whole bunch of ways. There's a sense of worry about the future, about the geopolitics shifting, about the impacts of climate change. I was here in Edmonton in February when Alberta announced the start of the wildfire season. In February, we're seeing this is a record drought year coming up, which means there's going to be pretty bad fires. There are things
It's interesting. There's been a ton of rain this year, despite his record drought year he likes to put out here. So I believe those fires were started by lightning. And here's some updates here. We got Stephen Guilbeault says government predicted a bad wildfire season and did everything it could to prevent Jasper from burning to the ground, but the government lost the fight against climate change and now will need to increase the carbon tax to stop the planet from boiling.
Like all of you have been gripped by the awful scenes unfolding in Jasper. My heart is broken for the many residents, businesses, and Parks Canada employees who've had their lives turned upside down. But I'm also so thankful we've kept everyone safe. To all those impacted, our government is fully behind you. We'll be there to support you through this difficult period and continue to deploy every resource to contain this fire and start rebuilding. The collaboration amongst all levels of government has been incredible.
Really? Like the sad piano music? You're wearing a Parks Canada shirt? Like, come on. This is so, forced, man.
Over 400 firefighters and other personnel have been underground bravely managing this fire. Moving forward, Parks Canada emergency officials will be working within Alberta's emergency management operations. We predicted wildfires would be bad this year, and Parks Canada has taken many measures to prepare. That includes prescribed burns, brush clearing, thinning the forest, and clearing a wide buffer zone around the town of Jasper. But days of temperatures in the high 30s scorched the forest.
Oh, it's the temperatures of the 30s, folks. Get out your volcano suit, because it's hot outside. The 30s, watch out. Oh my gosh. Guilbeault, really? Temperatures in the 30s? How many decades and decades and decades have we had the temperatures in the 30s in summertime? It's not like it's January and it's 30 degrees outside. From what I've heard, it's a lightning strike that started it, not temperatures in the 30s. The pine beetles have gone through those forests and left so much dry brush. All it took is one lightning strike and the whole thing just exploded, which is why they needed to do everything he said in there, which is what they did. Clear the brush out, fire break, clear out the dead trees.
Took a turn for the worse when lightning strikes converge with strong winds. Soon after, on Monday, an evacuation alert was issued, and by Tuesday, the town and backcountry campsites were cleared. Conditions by Wednesday deteriorated quickly, and the fire jumped a fire lane. Parks Canada firefighters described a fire that moved at 15 meters a minute, a giant wall of flames 100 meters high, flaming pine cones raining down up to a kilometer ahead of the fire. By the evening, only firefighters with specialized equipment could stay behind. The strength of the fire meant that even water bombers couldn't get close enough and were grounded. The fact is that
What about the big water bombers? How many of those do we got? They always show the helicopters. Like, why don't we have a real fleet of water bombers like the Mars Martian? They're firing up right here, right 20 minutes down from where I'm living. They're going to retire that thing. But it's like, why don't we have a real fleet of water bombers? A lot of them. If this is always a problem, why don't we just not give $220 million to McKinsey and actually buy some water bombers? How about that?
the fire burned hotter, bigger, and faster than forces could handle.
He's clearly, you can see his eyes looking down here. He's reading something off screen. It's just, put in the sad piano music. Like, it's a terrible thing, but it's like, this is so hammed up. So one thing they did do is they brought in all these firefighters from South Africa, which you see here. Justin Trudeau posted, Canadians are thankful to each and every one of you. Yeah, Canadians are grateful for any firefighters, including all these South Africans, come up and help. This is beside the point. The point is we knew about this and Trudeau did nothing. He promised to do something and he did nothing. And I have the clip to show it right here. So what I've got here is a clip from 2017. Yikes, the Liberals were told in 2017 that Jasper was a tinderbox, but the climate radicals refused to alter the pristine environment. This is what happens when you have an office in Quebec overseen by Trudeau, manages the forests of Alberta.
Mr. Speaker, Jasper National Park, one of Canada's major tourist destinations, has been devastated by the pine beetle infestation. Much of the forest is dead or dying. The dead trees are a tremendous fuel load and present a significant risk to the community of Jasper. Residents are concerned for their own safety and that of the visitors and the security of their homes. With a high risk of wildfires fueled by a forest devastated by the pine beetle, have the Liberals put a plan in place to protect this park?
The Honourable Minister of the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our government is absolutely committed to the ecological integrity of our national parks. That is my first priority as the minister. We are working very hard in all of our parks, including Jasper National Park. I look forward to talking to the member further about this and seeing how we can move forward. Thank you.
He brought it up. It's right there. Mentioned it, pine beetles, the whole thing. I have a video on my second channel where I actually go through. I have footage from last year because I went to Jasper last year, and I have a bunch of aerial footage of the pine beetle affected trees all around that whole region. And they've done nothing. They just don't care, right? They're self-serving. They're all their, buddies in high places, consultants, scandals. How far would that $54 million from ArriveScan go to help out this situation? Pretty far. I'm guessing you could hire a whole lot of forestry workers to go clean up the forest there for $54 million. The recent $500 million sent to Ukraine could have funded several water tanker airplanes and had them ready on standby, but nope.
Today, we're going to be able to announce with this summit that we've worked out a deal for Canadian water bombers to be built across Canada and shipped to Europe so that they have the Canadairs they need to continue to fight a changing climate. These are the kinds of things that friends can do when they come together.
This is unbelievable. This was posted in 2023. Trudeau was able to commit water bombers to Europe, even though his government still hadn't dealt with the issue in Canada. And it's just clip after clip. That's the best part of X. People post these things.
A re-elected Liberal government will invest $500 million ahead of the next fire season for the firefighters and equipment provinces need. To begin with, we'll train at least 1,000 more firefighters in communities across the country who'll be able to mobilize right away when a major burn starts. The other way we'll keep communities safe is by investing hundreds of millions of dollars more for provinces to buy firefighting equipment, from water bombers to helicopters to other critical rescue supplies. We will roll out an ambitious new plan so you can protect your home from extreme weather events. This includes an expanded home retrofit program that will help you afford everything from fire-resistant shingles to better waterproofing for your basement. And if you're worried not just about your home, but your insurance premiums too, we have a plan to work with industry on keeping those affordable as well.
He's got that smug, big, greasy, cheesy cheese bucket smile there. The whole way through. Just gross. Trudeau's such a liar. Why not change the national parks into provincial parks? Albertans care much more about our parks than Ottawa ever will. Yeah. You got this post in the Globe and Mail last year. Alberta had one of the best wildfire programs in the world. Budget cuts have left the province at risk. Next up, we got this clip from Stephen Guilbeault as part of this speech he's reading out. And this is where he basically just says it.
Not reported any injuries or casualties. Around 358 structures, or roughly 30% of the town, was lost to the fire. But inversely, around 70% of the town was saved. Years of preparation, forest management, simulated evacuations, and firefighting efforts paid off. The number one focus is the community. I'm happy to report that all the fires within the community have been put out.
He's happy to report 30% of an entire town burned down and it paid off. Your preparation paid off. This is embarrassing. What does this guy actually think this is a good thing to say? Not only that, it's like, seems like the majority of it was the residentials, people's homes that were burned down. Every time I hear his voice, I want to throw up. What forest management? There wasn't any. Yeah, when I drove through, I was absolutely shocked. I drove south and then going north of Jasper, and there was just these tinder boxes everywhere. I stopped. I was just in disbelief that there was so many dead trees, because I was thinking all it would take is one lightning strike and this whole area would just explode. The same thing goes at Saskatchewan River Crossing. There's a small, I wouldn't call it a town, it's like a hamlet. It's surrounded by the exact same thing. One lightning strike or one arsonist to go out there, boom, the whole thing is gone. And that's where the only place you can get gas in that entire national park there. So between Jasper and Banff. And going forward, will the Liberals do anything about it? No. No, they won't. They're just like, oh yeah, climate change. Yeah, the 30s, it was burning because it's the 30s outside. So we've got an update here on the footage of the town. Initially, when they were showing it, the wall of fire was just huge and it looked like the entire town was getting wiped out. But yeah, they were able to save it with a main street road. So we got this guy posted a photo here and says, I understand not wanting to burn in the park, but the dead trees are a fire hazard. The red trees in this image are pine beetle kill. So there you have it. They are just like absolutely withered out. Basically pine beetle get up there and they eat or whatever and it kills off the tree. And then after a couple of years, all of the pine needles fall off and it turns into this tinder and it becomes like this sparse kind of looking forest with just the trees sticking up. An update here, it shows basically you can't get any into Jasper. All the roads are blocked right now. We've got this posted here where it says, I really hope nobody sees this Jasper Forest Management Plan from 2022 approved by Stephen Guilbeault. So it's pointed out right here, Objective 1.5 ecological process such as fire, flooding, and native forest insect disease outbreaks. So the plan is here. It's just not executed. They didn't do the plan. And here we can see the main street was used as the fire break, which protected a lot of the businesses. Fire breaks work. Why didn't they do them outside of the town? They had 2 days. Commercial and government buildings saved very much on purpose. Taxpayers very purposely sacrificed. Now watch as rebuilding will be a S show if allowed at all. This is an interesting comment here. It basically says, I wonder how many owners will sell their land because insurance companies will take forever to give them their money. I bet locals will soon be forgotten and instead their homes will be rebuilt with high density apartments in their place, which will allow all that pristine commercial real estate to flourish. Yeah, ooh, I don't want to go down that road. So this guy posted here an aerial photo that basically shows a bunch of pine beetle trees. I mean, it's all over the place in Jasper here. Next up, we got this. It's a Moose on the Loose group on X. If you guys want to join the group, it's a community group in here. You go to the community tab, I think search it or something like that. I'll link it up down below, but I've got this group going now because there's been reports of right-wing FB groups just getting deleted outright because that's what they're doing now. So I created a group here as a backup. Another group, you know, different people use different platforms. Check it out. Next up, we got this posted by Brian Lilly. It says, if you don't watch Pierre Poilievre rallies once in a while, you may not know that his call to defund CBC regularly gets the biggest cheer. His supporters love the idea.
What about the CBC? Yes, we will be defunding the CBC.
It's interesting. Defunding the CBC is what gets people riled up. I mean, it's just when we're paying for a company to lie to us, obviously that makes all of us angry. And you got Catherine Tate, you know, completely corrupt, giving herself 6-figure bonuses. And it's just ridiculous for doing a bad job. She ran that corporation into the ground, and she gives herself big bonuses, all her friends big bonuses. And she'll say, oh, no, it's the board. The board approves. Yeah, you're friends with the board, Catherine Tate. We know how this is going. You're just taking our money and flushing it into your own pocket. And you're just going to run that company into the ground until Pierre Poilievre defunds it. And basically, that's it. Once the CBC loses its funding, good luck. Like, just watch them absolutely tank. Even the first comment here, we're tired of being gaslit with our own tax dollars. Next up, we got this. It says Coppersmith Grove Park in Mississauga. And what do we see? Just some green toxic slime, whatever this stuff is. That doesn't look natural. That looks very toxic. It could be some algae getting flushed out of a pipe or something, but like there should be some barriers or some tape or something to block it off. Like this looks like straight up toxic waste. Next up, we got this clip here. It says Toronto police issued multiple tickets to a homeless man for cleaning car windshields at a red light intersection. This is what our tax dollars are being spent on.
The police gave him a ticket for just cleaning the car. For cleaning cars. Yeah. Why did the police do that to you?
This is insane. I mean, there's real problems in our country. This guy cleaning car windshields. If you don't want it, you're fine. I mean, you just wave no or whatever. The guy goes away. Those guys never harass people. They just move on because they're looking to make money. To give a ticket for doing that is insane. So this guy says the squeegee thing's out of control. I lived in Vancouver and they got very aggressive. It depends. The only ones I've ever seen, if you just wave them, no, stay away, they just go to the next car because they want to make money. They don't get aggressive with it. But if they are, then give a ticket for that, maybe, if they're being aggressive. But if they're legitimately just doing a quick squeegee and then you give them $1 or whatever, then what's the harm? So next up, also in Mississauga, we've got a car driving in the bike lane because that's a thing now.
Us on the road.
There's a guy
Not on the road.
On the bike
road.
lane.
Not the road.
Like, there's a guy walking here. What is he thinking when a van drives by him? This is so nutty now. We've got this comment here. Instead of spending millions of dollars on signs in Africa and nations telling people not to do a number 2 on the beach, maybe we can educate newcomers where to drive, what direction, and not to number 2 on our beaches. Yeah, so that whole number 2 thing on the beach in, where was it, Wasaga or whatever it's called in Ontario there's people who said they were just there the other day and then they keep finding more greasy Luigis in the sand. It's really happening. There's number 2s in that beach. We've got people driving the wrong way. We've got people driving on bike lanes. Like, is there not basic tests that test people's knowledge on this stuff? I don't get it. Jumping over to my group, let's see what memes we've got today. Me and my paycheck trying to figure out when the government worked half of my shift. Canada Wonderland, May 19th, 2024. Ironically, that might be copyrighted. I can't play the Canadian national anthem because whoever's version that is of it. But fight for your freedom like you fought for toilet paper. So true. People are going crazy about the toilet paper. I didn't get that because you could just go on Amazon and buy one of those like bidets that hooks onto your toilet seat and you're set. It's like toilet paper was the definitive thing. Everything you see on TV is a scripted performance with the purpose of shaping your view of the world. That is, yeah, I mean, CBC. What percent of Canadians say there are too many immigrants coming to Canada? March of 2019, 35%. Jump to 2023 in September, 49%. Jumps up to 50%, and now we're at 60% in July of 2024. 60%. That means that's, say, all the Conservatives, 42% or whatever, and then it's a portion of either NDP or Liberal or both, or Bloc. So it's not just the Conservatives that think that. Amateur looters, professional looters.
What am I doing? Right on the beach. Why would I? It's pretty much a big litter box. Dig it out, cover it up, and when you're done, Go about your day. But there's bathrooms just right there? Yeah.
I do not watch the CBC for the same reason I do not eat out of the toilet. Must be nice to eat ice cream as fast as you want and not worry about brain freeze. That's going to wrap up this episode. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about Stephen Guilbeault basically saying that their plan worked to only have 30% of Jasper burned down. Like, what a stupid thing to say. The guy's unbelievable. He had a script there that he wrote, and he didn't proofread what he said. Like, did you not see how stupid that sounded? I don't know. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks for watching the end of the video here. Be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. We'll keep fighting for freedom. I'll see you guys in the next one.